Hey everybody, this is Tish, just doing what I do. Well, tonight, as you see, I'm in the kitchen once again. I am making something new I never made before. A cabbage turkey steak. Yes, cabbage turkey steak. You know when you're making cabbage steak, it's a baked cabbage in the oven. But this one, I tweaked it. I saw this on YouTube where they use hamburger meat and use a patty and put it over top of the cabbage steak, which is a slice of cabbage, and they docked it up and put it in the oven and made a meal. Also, they put on top, that cream cheese and spinach, cheese stuff mix that you will put inside your mushrooms. Well, I put that on top of my turkey burger. Yes, in the oven on top of my cabbage steak. As you can see right here, I am mixing up my meat, my turkey meat, ground turkey, lean at that, 90% lean, in my mixing bowl with all my wonderful seasoning. I put some scallions in there, some onions, as you can see, I had cut up and put in there. My amino, I love using amino in that, as well as some more seasoning. Also, you can see that I'm putting some, also more seasoning, just to my taste. So whenever you're making this, put whatever you put in your meat to give it that taste. Use it, whatever is best for you. As you can see on the pan right beside where I'm cooking, I have my cabbage cut in round disc shape. I cut it right down, wash the cabbage and cut it and place it on the cooking sheet to prepare my meat now, my turkey meat, to place on top of my cabbage so it all can cook together. Now I just cracked the egg because it's just like you mixing your hamburger meat together like a meatloaf almost, and I have placed it together. I'm moving up a little close so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So I am going to mix all of that together with clean hands. Make sure your hands are clean. With all my onions and scallions and green cuts and seasoning my egg. Also, you'll see me put in some breadcrumbs in there as well to thicken it up, not to have it so loose. I put that in there, and once I mix this very well, yes, and I love to go wash my hands because I do not like messy hands. So you're going to see me run back and forth to the sink to wash my hands out. So whenever I get into picking up something else, as you see, I have all my seasoning and ingredients that I'm going to use tonight for this dish. Not only with this, I'll be making some asparagus, roasted asparagus with not roasted asparagus, but I'll be making some wedges, some potato wedges in the oven as well to go with this wonderful dish here. So I got a little ahead of myself because I did make asparagus in another meal. So I got a little bit more seasoning. Now this sauce I put in here is that chili sauce. That sweet chili sauce that you use for your egg rolls and everything like that. I put it in there for a little kick. Just a little kick in it. And then I'm going to put some more breadcrumbs in there to thicken it up so it won't be so loose. And once you're going to see, once again, I'm going to be back at that sink washing my hands once I've done that, because I'm going to go into something else. Hey, I love to keep my hands clean. I love to wash hands and clean as I go. So also you're going to see me cleaning my area, keeping it nice and clean. I'm always washing, so I like things nice and clean. So once I have put that together, I'm going to go ahead and get me some cheddar cheese now. Sharp cheddar cheese. I had some in the refrigerator. And I said, well, let me go ahead and put some cheese inside of my burger as well. So I went ahead and cut up some sharp cheddar. And I am going to dice that up a little bit and mix it into that turkey meat. You know, I had to get a little for taste. So I'm going to be chopping that up and putting it right into the bowl, as you can see. Wonderful. You see that? Yes. Getting that cheese ready for that meat. This is an awesome dish. I never made it before, but I know it's going to turn out wonderfully, as you're going to see at the end, and it was delicious. But it's a process in making it, but it didn't take as long because it took me approximately to make this whole dish about 30 minutes. To really make it for 30 minutes. And I say that was a good time consuming for making a meal. In this meal, I made 4 of these cabbage turkey cabbage turkey steaks, excuse me. I made about 4 of those, so I was able to have some for lunch and for another couple more dinners. So that was a good meal prep for me as well. So now I have chopped up all the sharp cheddar that I was going to have into my meat. As you can see, I'm back washing my hands and my knife, keeping things clean in my area as well. And I'm going to go ahead and mix this up in my bowl and get it prepared for patties. So I want to prepare my turkey patties, burgers, and prepare that onto the side until I'm ready to place them onto my wedges, my discs. I call them discs, my cabbage steak discs. And it looked just like what I did, I just cut the cabbage right down and placed it onto the cooking tray. So, and that's simply what I did. So I'm showing you how I made the burgers into a patty. Now I'm gonna place it into one of my dish, and I will be lining it up on a piece of parchment paper so it's easy to come off. And then I will put another piece on top and make my burgers. So out of that pound, I ended up making good sized burgers. I made at least, it was 4 on that disc. I think I made 4. I believe so, maybe 3. I'm not for sure. And then I had 2 extra that I was able to freeze. So whenever I'm ready to make another one, I can go ahead and put that in the oven and cook it. So it's already in my vacuum seals, ready to be cooked and processed for another meal when I'm ready. So I'm going to go ahead and patty the rest of those up, and we are going to get right into the next step of making these cabbage turkey steaks in the oven. So just watch and see what comes next. Now I'm going to place those to the side and clean up my work area real quick, because I'm going to get into the next thing that I'm going to be doing to prepare this awesome meal I have here. So I have to make sure my area is nice and clean, hands are clean, wiped, and everything else, because I have to go into the next step of this meal. I am preparing myself for this wonderful meal. As you can see, I made at least 3. I noticed that one was a little bit smaller. So I had to go get my cabbage and cut me another size that will fit and will be the same size as the rest of the cabbage discs that I had cut out. I'm going to call those little discs because it was round just like a disc would be in my baking sheet pan. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut another piece of cabbage so I can place that right there with the other two. So I made 3. So this was good for 3 days. I couldn't remember that I did 3 or 4. So I had 3 burgers I made that night, and I had 2 left over. So altogether in that pound, it was a great, nice size burgers, about 5 of them. So now I am going to prep these with some with some pepper. I rubbed it in real nice. And on the bottom of that sheet I have some aluminum foil, and I sprayed it with my cooking spray before I put down my cabbage steaks. Now I'm seasoning with my all season spice flakes, and also just a little bit more seasoning. And whatever seasoning you like, you put down on your food so it can taste great. Now I love my different seasoning and spices and herbs. So a lot of things I season my food with is a lot of herb based and not a lot of salt. So when I do put salt on it, it will be my Himalayan salt. Now you see right here what I'm showing you is some barbecue sauce. Now I noticed that this barbecue sauce in the store is sugar free. This man has all types of sugar free products in the store, and I love it because it don't have any sugar and the carbohydrates. So I was able to use some of that on top of the cabbage before I put my patties on top. Now, this is where the magic starts. I put the patty on top, right? And I press it down to make sure it's the same size as the cabbage disc. Now, I told you I'm going to have some left. With the leftover ones I have, I end up freezing them, putting in my vacuum seal, and have it prepared for the next go around. So those are already prepared, wiping down my counter, washing my hands off, and now it's time to place these to the side for my next step. And the next thing what I'm going to be making is doing my topping for on top of the turkey burgers. Now, this is the magic part. This is the sauce or the cheese topping that will be on top of this burger. Now, I never thought it would taste so wonderfully. Almost the same type of stuffing that I use to stuff my stuffed mushrooms. Oh my goodness. But I kicked it up a notch and put little things in there that I didn't put in my other one, but I was able to have left over to be able to use that stuffing at a later date. So I vacuum sealed that as well and stored that to the side of my freezer so I can easily take that out to use that on another meal, the leftover. So what you need for this is some cream cheese. I opened me a thing of cream cheese, and I cut up me some green onion tops. So I cut them up and put those into that as well, with some herbs, some pepper, some little bit my herbal seasoning, all in there together. And you're gonna see as I chop these very finely, because you do not want them large in your meal. You want them finely chopped. So now I place them inside the bowl to be able to mix with my cream cheese and other spices. Let's take a look. Now, as you can see, I placed some Parmesan cheese in there. I also get some of my seasoning out and place it in there as well. This cream cheese, this cheese topping will be awesome on top of this burger. I never made this before, but it turned out wonderfully. So make sure you season your food to the point where you like it, how you like the seasoning to be. So now I'm up here looking for a certain seasoning. Now, as you can see, it's time for that spinach. I have to chop up the spinach to put into this wonderful cream cheese dish. So it's time to chop up some of that fresh spinach that will be going into the cream cheese to top the burger. Now, what I could did differently to get this mixed in, because it was kind of tough to mix this up in here with that cream cheese not being as soft as I want it to be. Well, what I could have done, I could have put it in my standard mixer and could have mixed it, but I didn't. And I ended up just trying to mix this with a spoon, then getting a whisk to try to mix it well. So I decided to add some eggs that I already had pre-cracked and was in a jar in the refrigerator to give it a little moisture, and also would help with the cooking as I was cooking this on top of my burger. Hey, it's nothing like your own hands to get this thing really chopped up and done and mixed up well so it can get on top of that burger. So once I mixed all that up and got it mixed in real well, you know what come next. Time to clean those hands. So you're going to see me cleaning my area, getting it ready, and so I can go ahead and put it on top of my burger. As I add a little bit more egg in it, my hands are just so messy. Oh my goodness. All the stuff. I said, oh, I couldn't wait to finish so I can clean my hands up a little bit more. But it is nice and creamy and mixed up very well now. So that mix is ready to go onto them burgers after I finish stirring and mixing it so well. So now it's time to clean up that area, put the rest of that spinach and get it wiped up and clean, and to wash my hands. So I always like to clean as I go. I've been taught that as a young child with my mom. Always clean as you go. So I'm in here cleaning my area, wiping down my board, make sure everything's nice and clean. So now it's time to spread this cream cheese mixture that I have spinach in it and cheese on top of the turkey burgers, which is on top of the cabbage steak. They call it cabbage steaks. Cabbage disc that's on the pan. So it looking very yummy. Ooh, it's awesome too. I wish you was there to really see that being formed. And this is very low in carbs, because tell you the truth, I don't really think you had any carbs in this meal. This part what I'm making right here. All right. So now I think I'm finishing up this, and it's almost time to place this in the oven. As you can see, it's finished, and it's time to go in that oven so we can get ready for our next thing to prepare to go in the oven as well. And to go ahead and make some steak fries to put in the oven, but not just any steak fries. Now these fries, I was going to be putting some scallions mixed with some Parmesan cheese in a bowl with seasoning, sprinkling it on top, and what a flavor it came out of. Oh my goodness, it was so delicious. So I got some potatoes, I cut them in half and then cut them in wedges, as you're going to see, and be placing them onto the baking dish. And it will be going right into the oven with the Cabbage Turkey Steaks. Remember, always clean as I go. So I'm putting everything up that I have already used and don't need to use it anymore, so it can make room for the other things that I am doing now. So I'm finished with those items, so I'm placing them, wiping them down, putting it up, keeping my area nice and clean and free from other things that I'm not using at the moment, so I can have room for the things that I am using. Always good to clean as you go, to keep your area nice and tidy. Slice that potato right down the middle. Get it ready. Now I'm placing the wedges on the tray to get ready to go in the oven. I will fill up this whole tray with these potatoes. I think I had at least 3 or 4 on the counter, and I cut up all of them except I think a half of one, because I didn't have any more room on my tray to put the wedges. And I didn't tell you, but after they was cooked, and I let my hubby try them, and he had loved them. So that will be one of the meals that I'll probably be fixing for him, is these seasoned and onion topped with Parmesan cheese steak fries, I call them. Parmesan cheese steak fries, that's a good name for them. And they were very delicious. So now the scallions will be chopped up. The green onion tops will be chopped up, placed in a bowl with some Parmesan cheese mixed together, so I can sprinkle those on top. And I will be seasoning my fries, spraying it with some oil so they will not stick, and have them ready for cooking. Now, I will not be putting my Parmesan cheese on top with my onions, I think at the beginning. So I believe I will be just putting it in a bowl, mixing it together, and I will be sprinkling it on top of my potatoes shortly. But I want to make sure everything is seasoned right. I put some grapeseed oil on top, lathered it very well, put some seasoning on it. All these are spices and herbs, less salt as possible. And then I will mix it all around in this pan and stick it right into the oven with our Cabbage Turkey Steaks. That's that Sassoon. If you know anything about that, that will bring plenty of flavor to any meal you make. Now, those potatoes will be cooked in the oven on the same temperature as the Cabbage Turkey Steaks. Now, I'm going to place those in the oven, and they will be cooking on 350 at the first 20-25 minutes. And then I will be raising the temperature to 380. And I will be setting it right there, and that'll be it for the cooking of that.